Pin him.
Right, there you go.
Hey, good evening, everybody on YouTube. Facebook is live with us. Welcome, everybody. We're just kind of getting the screen set up so everybody can see exactly what's going on. I'm here with Rob. Rob's right below me there.
We're nowhere. It's only Mynor you see. Maybe pin them.
Well, no, they see you on YouTube. I have it set up so they do.
Oh, well, so once again, here we go, Facebook land. Once again, we're back around to you guys don't matter out there.
No, YouTube is
it's only the YouTube
exactly because YouTube is way more harder for me to stream because you just click a little button and it automatically does it for you. For me, I have to work hard for the stream.
Facebook's up with the times.
It's because Zoom Zoom kisses Facebook's butt, so that's where it comes from. So
anyways,
why did you do that?
I did it just to screw up your YouTube followers. Yeah, take that, YouTube, right up your follow button. And anyway, so we got Mynor here with us today from Your Pixel Store. He's going to go over some great new products that he has. We also have Nacho in case Mynor needs a sidekick. Got a cool little sidekick here. But he's going to go over some Pixel products that you probably guys want to get in on. If you are a PPD Club member, just keep in mind that he is a valued affiliate and he offers discounts to you guys. And the way that the discount program works out is typically all year long, Clyde and I and the PPD crew, we're doing a lot of commercial projects and what have you. And when we buy in bulk from Mynor.net. Instead of getting the discounts that way, we kind of extend those discounts down to you guys. So that's kind of how it works out with the affiliate members and everything like that, with the affiliate vendors and everything like that. So without further ado, let me introduce my great friend and colleague Mynor. Now let me pin you. You are pinned. See, look how fast the pinning worked. And there was no YouTube followers lost during that transition. Because that's all Clyde worries about. But as I was saying, this is Mynor from Your Pixel Store. I'm sure a lot of you folks out there know him. I've seen him at the expos. He's been traveling. I've seen you, I think every mini picture that I've seen, I think I've seen you in it. So I don't think you missed a mini this year. And if you did, it might have been like one in Egypt.
I did 22 events, including conventions this year. It was
crazy.
It was a whirl this year. It was crazy. It was insane. I don't know if I'll do it again, but it was, I wanted to get as many minis this year as possible. And with the conventions, I did 7 or 8 conventions plus a bunch of minis. The only minis that I did miss, and I'm gonna try to make next year, is the Clap, which is the one in Seattle area, Washington area. The Indiana one I missed, the Ohio one I missed, and I think the New York. And there was one other one I wasn't able to make because I was double booked. But those were the only minis that I missed this year. But I traveled quite a bit this year, and I think every mini has a beautiful thing to do. But there were some that really stood out, and it was because of the food. So some of the food at these minis, you guys got to bring the A game because these guys they brought it. They brought some really good food, and it was worth the trip just for the food.
I don't know. Chef Go-Go, he was pretty good down there in Florida. That was a.
No, he was good. He was good. But if you haven't been to Kansas City, which I found out is in Missouri, not in Kansas, which threw me off completely because I thought I was in Kansas.
I think there's one in both, actually. That makes it even more confusing. And I think they're like right across the river from one another.
Exactly. So when I got there, I'm like, well, why did I land in Missouri? They're like, well, Kansas City is in Missouri. And I was, okay, whatever. But anyways, whatever type of food I had was good. I don't know if it was Kansas barbecue or Missouri barbecue. It was good. So the Kansas barbecue was pretty good. I would have to say it's one of the better. And then the food from the Carolinas was pretty good too. They're up there. They're competing for first place right there. They were pretty good.
So Russell brought it this year down there, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean he. You know what?
When we went 2 years ago, it was like this hamburger shop that was across the street. It was still good, but it was like a diner, like a it's one of those type places like when you're driving down the road, you're like, oh man, we should stop there because like they probably get no business, but it's the best food in America. And that's what we had the year we went down to the Carolinas. But the beach, the beach house, the lake house that we rented for Carolina then. That was I don't know if you remember or not, but Ken and I was getting attacked by murdering hornets down
Oh,
there.
the murder hornets
And,
that year.
Clyde was
I heard
standing
about
inside
that
the
story.
house, and he locked the door, and he was laughing because we were spraying these things, and they were swarming, and like they were kamikazes. And
Yeah. Yep.
Clyde's inside the sliding glass door, like laughing at
No,
us. Like,
no.
we're not letting you in.
Robert and Ken were not hurt in any way, shape, or form. They were just.
Well, I heard about that story, and you know, our story was pretty good. You know, we went to Obama Gas, and that was just a wild experience. But yeah, actually Blinky Sequences was actually the one that sponsored the dinner, lunch dinner for the mini, and it was barbecue. I forget who did the barbecue, but it was incredible. So it's gonna be they're gonna have to bring it. Like I said, the Carolinas and Kansas City right now have the best food, so everyone else has to bring it. Especially some of the minis are small, but they do potlucks, very good food, delicious. And then some of the minis are huge. I mean, the Utah mini was, I mean, it's almost, it had close to 120 people, I think, which is pretty, that's a pretty big mini. That's almost up there with the Florida Mega Mini type numbers, without being a Mega Mini. So that was impressive. And Utah was really nice. They have a really nice facilities out there.
Good deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to hold you guys up too long and hold you guys with suspense about some of the products. So, I mean, some of the products you guys have seen before. I'm going to flip my phone and see if I can get them here.
I'm going to jump off video so it allows you to see more.
Okay. So some of the products I wanted to show you guys is, and you guys are going to get a great deal on some of these, is our new flowers. I wanted to show you guys the flowers. These are the flowers because people have been asking what the flowers look like in real life. These are the roses. You guys can see it changes color. They're individually controlled, each one of the flowers. These are the tulips. You guys can see. Yeah, the phone kind of sucks, so I apologize.
I've seen these in person, and they are amazing. Like they really do. I mean, even like they have greenery ornaments too. The greenery doesn't light up, but the greenery really does make it blend in with your flower garden and stuff like that. Like it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what we developed them for. These are the orbs. The reason why we developed them was so you guys can have year-round stuff. This stuff right here, like for example, I've actually had these outside, so you guys can literally just clean them off with a towel and use them year-round. And that's exactly what they were intended for. You can put them in your bushes. You can put them outside in your garden, and just have them year round. And so it could give you some elegant looks. And I wanted something different from the bullet pixels that we have. And there's nothing wrong with the bullet pixels. You guys know that that's the creme of the creme. That's what we use the most. But just wanted to give you guys different options. Like these are the reeds that we sell, and again, you can change them different colors. Pea stakes are cool. Everybody's using pea stakes. These could be a different option for you if you wanted to use them besides pea stakes. But that's something that some of you guys have already seen. What I really wanted to show you guys is actually a new product that we have, and it is these right here. If you haven't seen these and you're wondering how they're being held up, they are held up by magnets. And these are 100% IP65 rated. You do not need a backing or anything. It already has the cover for these. These are actually P4 panels. So these are P4 panels that are completely covered from the back, and they're magnetic. And what makes them cool, like I told you, is you literally put it on the metal and it stays.
So how do you hook those up? The little metal thing that I saw going with it, was that a safety hook?
Are you talking about this? Yeah, this is a safety thing just in case. So you hook it up around, basically similar to anything that you would do with a safety thing. You wrap it around. See, I'm wrapping it around, and you hook it. So just in case somebody yanks on it and tries to run away with it, it protects it and seals it there. Here's another one right here.
So how does it hook up? Can you show how it hooks to like a wires?
Yeah, sure. I'm just gonna turning this one around. This one has the wires, so it's similar to the current ones that we have. You guys see the data wire hanging right there?
So the water like runs down off of it then, like a root.
Correct. So that's exactly it. So the water runs down. This is a little ridge right here on each one of these. So you guys can see.
Now, are these the ones you had at your mega tree at
yes. So that's the reason why they're so cool, is because you can build these now, which is the skirt. You guys see that's a circular circular skirt. And I'm trying to see if I can show you guys with one hand. The cool thing about them is they're bendable. You guys see, I'm bending it forward,
wow.
but it's even more flexible going this way. This is almost a full half circle.
Yeah, I was saying that looks like 180.
Yeah, so that the cool thing about that is that it allows us to create circles and spheres, which if you guys saw I just released a reel. The last reel that I released showed a preview of one of the spheres that we're going to have coming soon. And it's going to be about 3.5, it's going to be about 3.5 feet wide, and it's going to basically look like the dome or the sphere that Las Vegas has.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
And
so
you
you
said
guys
it could
can
be
see
about 3.5 feet.
about 3.5 feet diameter. That's right. So
That's cool.
the cool thing about this is, again, for those that want a simple tune to sign, this is it right here. You literally just have to get a couple of poles. I'm trying to show you guys, see a couple of poles, put them together, use the dado cables that are connected there, and you got your tune to sign. And
Yeah,
you can put that
I
together.
would assume those would probably stick to or not EMT, a T-post. If you would pound a T-post down in and then
Yep.
mount something across it just to hold the top and the bottom of that.
Yep. And then with Experience Lights releasing their P5 controller, you would basically, all you would need is a pigtail, either X Connect or Raywu pigtail to run it, and that's it. You're just basically running the controller, the two. So you can literally have a tune sign up and running in less than 30 minutes.
Oh wow.
And that's the really cool thing about these. Again, the idea behind it was we were looking for something that was going to be completely outdoor rated, so you can use it. I mean, the only time that water can get in there is if you have a sprinkler head shooting directly under it. But even the what controller, the Experience Lights is going to be releasing a new controller. They actually have a P10 setup right now, but they're going to be releasing a P5 version, which will allow us to control these panels just using standard pixel data, WS2811 data.
I think they call it pixel to panels. If I'm
Yes,
correct.
there it is, pixel to panels, and I think this one's going to be pixel to panels 5 because it's going to be for P5s. So I can't wait for them to release it. That's actually we planned this product before we knew about the Experience Lights controller, and it just worked out perfectly that our timing couldn't be better, that we have that the new panels coming out and their controllers coming out either next year or late this year. And then finally, the product that I've been really happy about is, of course, our dual pixels. We finally started having some stock in. We've been shipping them out. If you guys haven't heard about the dual pixels, it's the pixel with 4 wires. It's the pixel with it has 4 wires because it has a second data line. And with that second data line, if one pixel goes out, it doesn't affect the rest of the pixels. It's just that one pixel that goes out. And that means that you don't have to rush out there to make any changes. They look like regular pixels. They perform like regular pixels. You can use WS2811 protocol. It works with all the major controllers out there: Cope, Experience Lights, Falcon, even the small ESP, DigQuad, the Wasatch Pixels controllers. They all work.
Well, just to be clear, they're 3 wire at the beginning, though, aren't they?
No, they're 4 wire all the way through.
Oh, they're 4 wire the whole way through. Okay.
They're 4 wire all the way through, but we have an adapter so basically, if you have the X Connect, let me get back to talking to you guys. So if you have X Connect or you have Raywu, we have the adapters, so you don't have to so you don't have to change your whole controllers. So we have adapters, so you can have that one adapter at the beginning, and then the rest of it can be 4 wire. And so the adapter was meant for people that didn't want to buy another controller or already have their setup and don't want to change anything. We already have the 4 wire pigtails. We already have 4 wire extensions. So for those that already want to jump directly into using the 4 wire dual pixels, you could do that. You don't have to focus on using X Connect or Raywu. This is literally a YPS dual pixel, and it's going to be basically a dual extension that you're going to be getting. So we're really, really excited about that. Like I said, we're just getting caught up with stock. We've been selling out as soon as we get it. So we're really excited that it's going to be available for the masses just before Christmas time. So for those that wanted to get the dual pixels, now they're available. Our huge order will be coming in actually next week on the 10th. So it just worked out perfectly that it was just before the holidays. And I want to make sure that people are aware that we're not trying to replace the WS2811. By all means, I think the WS2011 is a great pixel and it does its job right. The reason why we wanted these dual pixels is for those hard to reach places. Your permanent lighting on your roof, you have roof mounts, you have props on your roof, and you don't want to get on a ladder or you can't reach them because you have to get what is that? It's cherry pickers or a lift. Then these are the pixels that you want, because if one pixel goes out, you don't have to worry about going up there because it's only really one pixel. Right now, if you have all your pixels on one port, one pixel goes out, that pretty much that whole line goes out.
So one question is back to the P4 panels that you had. Mr. Christmas asks, what about using a color light card? Are they compatible with a color light card?
Yes, they are compatible with color light, so they're going to be we say backwards compatible, but they're made for color light, but they're going to be compatible with the controller that Experience Lights is going to be releasing. The way P4s work though, it's a little bit different, so I want to make sure people know this. With the P5 panels, you're able to run like 2, 3, 4 panels per port, and maybe 4 or 5 sometimes if you want to have low resolution. But with the P4s, you only can run 1 or 2 panels per port. That's because it's so much more dense compared to a P5 panel. So it does require more color light cards in order to run the P4 panels.
So, and for the people out there that are new and kind of don't understand what a panel is, so a panel is like a little matrix, a very small matrix. They're about 6 inches by 12 inches, rough sizes. So a half foot by a foot. And when you hear them saying P10s, P5s, P4, what that actually means is a P10 means center of that pixel that you see to center of the pixel is 10 millimeters. So when he says P4, it means from the center of that dot to the center of the next dot is 4 millimeters apart, which is crazy. You know, you hear a lot of people saying, should I do 2-inch spacing, 4-inch spacing? Like when you're doing 4 millimeter spacing, that's small. And like you said, the quality is amazing on it. So that's what he means by P4, P5, P10. So another question was, and I see Becky already answered it, but I'm just going to go back over it so everybody gets. So Mike asks, if one of your pixels go out on your 4-wire pixels, does the render go off by 1 bulb? So he means like if this, you have 100 bulbs in a string, right? And you have this pushed into a prop. If bulb 1 goes out, does it push the first signal to the second bulb and it messes up the whole render? Or does it just skip it and that bulb stays out and all the rest still stay in the proper order?
It's the second situation that you mentioned. So basically, if one pixel goes out, let's say it's pixel number 4 data just disappears. It kind of just goes into the cloud. And then, so basically it's 1, 2, 3, pixel 4 doesn't work, and it goes to 5, 6, 7. So it just continues down the path. It does not push the data 1 more pixel. That's actually one of the reasons why we chose this protocol, because it allowed us to be able to do that. And I want to make sure people are aware, we didn't create this chipset. We just developed the pixel for this chipset. And that was the key right there. When we looked into the chipsets, we wanted to make sure it wasn't pushing data back because of all the huge props that we're using right now in the hobby. It would be disastrous even if it pushed 1 pixel down, because everybody would think that something's wrong with their setup. So the idea behind this was to use something that wouldn't push the data back one pixel when it went out.
So another question on that comes from Adam, and it says, so the 4-wire with the adapter dongle that you speak of, will it just use 1 port with dual data? So if a single LED goes out, the whole strand will still stay on?
That's correct. So with the adapter, it basically converts. So I'll explain to you guys how the four wires work. So you have data one, you have data two, you have your ground, and you have your, come on, somebody get me, the
Voltage.
positive. Yeah, the positive. So um, data one, it's similar to the regular pixels that we have. We have data, then we have ground, then we have the positive. And I didn't mean to put that finger up, so I'll leave that finger down. So I just
You did it
I
again.
myself up.
I
So
just
I
got
apologize.
demonetized on YouTube.
I apologize.
See,
So
he's only worried about his YouTube people. It's the first thing out of his mouth. Rod hasn't said anything in 15 minutes. First word out, YouTube.
so
Go ahead, Mynor.
yeah, so data two connects to the ground. So that's how you connect it. If you were to just go straight four wires, data two would go with the ground, and then data one would go to the regular data on your controller, and the positive would go to the positive on your controller, and that's how you would do it directly. Um, for the people that already have a controller and didn't want to messing with the controller, taking out wires and all that stuff, we created the adapter that does that for you automatically. It basically converts the four wire into a three wire X connect or a three wire Ray Wu. So you're able to continue using the same controllers that you have without having to do anything yourself.
That's awesome. So when you order them, you have to order the dongle separately, or does the dongle come with it?
The dongle is separate because a lot of people are just buying the pigtails and just making new boxes for them.
Gotcha.
So the option is, if you want to continue using your same boxes, you just have to buy the dongle, and the dongle is 50 cents. We actually are selling it at a loss because we just wanted to make sure that people were able to get it to use their controller. So the dongle is a 50-cent addition if you only need one, because if you're running your strings, you only need one per port. So once you get one, you're done, you're set, you're ready to go. Now, if you don't want to spend the 50 cents on the adapter, we sell the pigtails. You can replace one of your three wire pigtails with a four wire pigtail. So then it's just a seamless connection. So it just gives you, we just giving the customers options because we didn't want to force people to buy new controllers or force people to build new controllers.
Gotcha. That's pretty interesting that you're making it so they can go from a three wire or they can start fresh with the four wire. And just so everybody out there that has been in the hobby for a while, this is something totally different from the old 2801s where it used to have a clock speed wire. So this is a dual data wire coming out. So there, like you said, there's a positive and a negative. You have your voltage and you have your ground, and then you have data one and data two. This is not a clock speed type thing, because I just don't want people to get confused, thinking that it's a clock wire. That's the fourth one. So
Thank you for bringing that up, Rob. That actually is a good point. I have been asked a lot of people. So where do we connect it in the clock for the Falcons, Colts, and Geniuses? None of the boards that we have clocks, and we don't need a clock wire. So thank you for bringing that up. So it just it's not a clock wire. So if you put it in a clock system, let's say you do have, I think Avitech, is it Avitech that has a clock controller?
Avitech has it. The the V3 Falcons have it. So anything newer is usually all three wires. It'd be the older stuff, and Avitech might still have it as well. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, and then another cool thing about the four wire pixels is that they have gamma correction. So it has built-in gamma correction. It has 12 bits of color, so that gives you actually true orange and true purples that you can get from these.
So pixels that we use, so like, I'm not trying to discredit any of your products or anything like that. So like your normal pixels, right? Your three wire pixels, are they 8-bit?
The WS2811, yes, I believe they're 8 bits, yes.
So those are 8 bits. So you're saying these are 12-bit with gamma correction, which is huge.
Correct. And that was actually one of the things that we wanted when we looked at these pixels. Adam, I'm actually going to connect your question to this answer. When we looked at them, we did look at the WS2812B, but the 2812B is only for strip. We also looked at the WS2808. We looked at the WS2815, WS2818. So we were trying to stay with the world semi chip, but the more we looked at it, it just didn't look. It didn't work for what we were trying to accomplish. Which brings us to another point. One of the cool things about these pixels is that we can do 24-volt with these pixels. And in fact, we're going to be releasing the 24-volt version of these pixels next year. And which means our goal is to be able to push 400 to 600 pixels without any power injection at 100% brightness. Which is that was actually the reason why we went with these pixels. Residential people for sure, but the commercial people were asking for a 24-volt pixel so they can do less power injection and have longer runs.
Yep. I lost my question that I had there, so I'm going to go to Mike's that's in the chat, and then I'll try to remember mine. It says, "Are you going to do removable pigtails for the 4-wire?" So, Mike, if you can elaborate on that a little bit more, do you mean does he have 4-wire pigtails?
No, I know what he's talking about. So we offer removable pigtails for our boxes. This is just, I should have, that's actually a new product. I should have showed you guys. Sorry.
He's holding out on us, guys. See this?
No, I completely forget. We have over 300 products now, Rob. So it's we've grown pretty fast. We've grown pretty fast, and so it's pretty hard to keep track of the stuff that we released. But we do have removable pigtails. So for people that want the clean look at the end of the year, not having pigtails dangling, you can store your boxes straight up without having any issues. We have removable pigtails.
So they're like a panel mount?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
The panel mount setup. And
Gotcha.
so we do have that. I don't know if we're going to be able to do the 4-wire yet. It's on our list of to do, but because of the constraint of the spacing, that's the issue that we have. We may actually do something like similar to what Matos did with his Dragon controllers, and have 2 to 4 pigtails, which would allow us to do that. And so that might give us the opportunity to do that.
Will the Duo pixels be stocked in 6-inch spacing for the 8-foot Rosa Grands in the hard to reach? I assume that it gets pretty long jumps is what he's getting to.
And we are going to be offering them as 6-inch spacing. We actually we will have 6-inch spacing as a standard pixel moving forward. And what I mean by that, it's not going to be that much of a difference in price between our 4-inch spacing. Sorry, I'm getting all these notifications. It's going to be similar pricing to our 4-inch standard pixels. So 6-inch will be standard at your pixel store. 4-inch and 6-inch will be standard. So you won't be paying a bigger premium for that, which is the first. You guys are the first group to know. So the 67 people that are on Facebook and all the YouTube people, you guys are the first ones to know that. So 4-inch and 6-inch spacing will be standard at your pixel store.
That's awesome. So Alex shared a link to your store for the removable X-Connect pigtails. So if anybody was wondering what those were or where to buy them at or where they're at on the site, Alex, thank you for sharing that. These are actually really cool. So these are, I really like the design of this, and I can see where you're saying like it would make the controllers look a lot cleaner at the end of the year, and not even just making them a lot cleaner at the end of the year. How many of us have a 16-port controller and you only use 8 outputs on it just because it's in that hard to reach spot? Here you can leave 8 of them off, and it's just one less thing you're worried about getting water into with a pigtail just hanging loose out there. Because let's face it, you do sell caps and things like that for pigtails, but they're never waterproof. It's just some kind of plastic thing you screw on, and you hope like crap that it really doesn't sit in a puddle of water, but it'll stop a raindrop from coming down on it, right? So one thing that you did mention, and I remember my question now, you said about these will be in 24 volt. I just want to make people aware these are not 24 volts. So don't think they're like, no, you can hook 12 to 24. That's not what he's saying. He's saying that there's going to be an option later on that they will be coming in 24 volt.
I actually, so you guys.
Oh, it sounds like the option must be sitting there.
So I actually have them already. So the 24 volts have already been made. They don't look any much different than the 12 volts over here. They don't look different. The main difference is that they're so we already have them. We're already testing them. So it's I already got my first batch of 2800. So we're already testing them. The difficulty, and Rob understands this. So late in the season for us to try to get them shipped out here, we won't make it. So it's going to be for next season that we'll release the 24 volt. The reason why it's what Rob brought up is important is because the dual pixels are true 12 volt pixels. They are not they don't have resistors or regulators built into them, which is one of the faults that WS 2011 pixels have, is that they have resistors and regulators built into them. These GS 8208s don't have regulators or resistors in them, which removes another failure point in the pixel.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nice.
And that's the cool thing about these pixels. And they work similar to like 5 volts. So similar to 5 volts, you know that once you drop under a certain amount, you know the 5 volts just stop working. The 12 volt is very similar. The GS82 is very similar to that. So it works, and then once it drops a certain amount of voltage, you got to add power injection. I've been able to get all the way to 400 pixels without power injection with the GS8208. But I was running them at 20-30%, which is where we run our pixels anyways. So most people aren't even going to need power injection with the GS8208. But if you see, you know, a little damper at the end of color, it's similar to any pixels. You got to add a power injection or power balancing point, depending on who you're talking to. It might be the same thing. So that's how they work. With the 24 volt, those might have resistors and regulators. So then they'll work like our standard 12 volt pixels, which will regulate the voltage into a certain point. We've tested them, and Rob and Clyde, I think you guys will be excited about this. We've tested them without the resistors or regulators and been able to get to almost 500-600 pixels. With the resistors and regulators, we believe we might be able to get to 700-800 pixels without any power injection.
So now it becomes that's incredible.
Be time for the board manufacturers to step up their game, because then people will be wanting to do 3,000 pixels of port and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's now it changes the dynamic of what it takes to build a pixel controller.
Absolutely. You know what? I didn't even take that into consideration, guys. Do not test 800 to 1,000 pixels on each port.
So now, to be honest, I tested 1,000 pixels on the Falcon F16 V3 when it first came out. So that was 2017, and you could do 1,000 pixels. Now I was running like 7%. I didn't power inject.
You had power injection.
Oh no, I did not power inject. I did 5 volt, and I did like 8% power, and it worked. It worked.
But you didn't do that on every port, though.
No, I couldn't. Sure. No, certainly not. And that's the thing. So you guys that are out there that want to do the crazy stuff, the crazy stuff comes with options, but at the same time, it also there's a lot of unknowns. So you think it's bad whenever you plug your 5 volt pixels? If people use 5 volt pixels and mix them with 12 volt, you plug a 5 volt and a 12 volt port and see what happens. I mean, they pop like little pieces of popcorn. So, there's a question in chat that I'm interested to hear more about. It says, Steve said you teased a new style box for the YPS box a few days ago on Facebook. Is that correct?
Steve, I'm assuming that's Steve Lawrence. I'm pretty sure it is.
And he says, can you reveal what changes are being made?
I don't know what box he's talking about. Is he talking about the projector enclosure, the Rudy box? I'm not sure which.
We'll have
maybe
to.
He can elaborate a little bit.
We'll have to defer to him.
Well, since you brought up the Rudy box and the projector, let's just start with those.
Yeah,
two.
let's talk about the projector box. The projector box is actually really interesting.
Oh, okay. So the projector box is actually something that came about. Somebody asked me and said, "Mynor, look at these prices for these projector boxes," and I think the cheapest box that we saw was like $1,000, and it was made out of wood.
Oh, they're ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane, and I was like, "What? That can't be right." Like I'm making my controller boxes. I'm sure I can make an enclosure for a projector, and I can reasonably price it. And that's exactly how it happened. Somebody asked me for it. I looked at the other pricing, and it's insane. I mean, I'm talking about $1,000, $700 for a wooden box for a projector. And so the projector enclosure came from that. Somebody asked me for it, and we developed it, and it worked out perfectly. But now people are asking me to make the bigger projector. So I've never used a projector, so I had no idea how big these projectors can get, and they're huge. Um, there, I've developed. We have a projector enclosure now that's 29 and a half inches wide by 28 inches in depth and 12 inches tall. That thing is huge, but some of the projectors still don't fit in those. So now they're asking me to make a bigger one. And yeah, so that's it's a crazy development how that happened. It wasn't even my idea. But it happened, and we did it, and we have not been able to keep up with demand for the enclosures, for the projector enclosures, and thank you guys for that. It was it took us 6 months to develop that projector box, but we haven't been able to keep up with demand. People have just been buying them left and right, and people outside the hobby as well have been buying it, and we're really happy. And I think it's once we have them in stock, I can show you guys one. I don't even have one. Somebody bought my sample one that I had at the Christmas Expo. So I don't even have one in stock right now, but yeah, we've been shipping them out as soon as we got them.
So what about the Rudy box? What's the Rudy?
So the Rudy box, which I sold my sample, again, somebody wanted it so bad they bought the sample. The Rudy box is literally the size of an ammo box. So I heard people saying, hey, your small box is great, Mynor. That's for a 16 port, maybe an 8 port controller. Do you have anything that can just hold a smart receiver, a power supply, or maybe 2 power supplies and 2 smart receivers? And that's what the Rudy box is. It's basically, and if you don't know Rudy, then you guys need to go watch that movie. It's Rudy, the football player that went to Notre Dame and ended up playing at the end of the game, and he was small and mighty. That's the reason we called it Rudy, the YPS Rudy box, because it's small and mighty and it gets the job done.
That was a great movie, by the way.
Yeah, great movie, great box. And that was the idea behind the box. It's similar size to like I said, an ammo box, a 50 cal ammo box, and it holds 2 power supplies and 2 smart receivers. You close it up, and that's it. It works. And it's economical. I think the price is $17.50 for the box, and it's made out of metal, and it's pre-drilled holes, so you don't have to worry about drilling your own holes on the ammo boxes. And there's nothing wrong with ammo boxes. I see people use them all the time. But if you want something a little bit sturdier, something that's made out of metal, then the Rudy box is the way to go. It's been really popular for us too, and we're gonna have them in full stock in about a week. So if you're trying to get your Rudy box, this will be the opportunity to get it before we sell out.
Outstanding.
So there's another question in chat from Steve. Well, I think it's a follow-up. So he said he's glad that you pretty much told us about the Rudy. Well, I'm the one that got that one out of you, because once you brought it up, I'm like, okay, now you're going to spill the beans of what you're talking about. But he said, no, he's talking about the small, medium, and big box you have with the triangle key. So you must have some kind of
okay, thank you. Okay, so a lot of people don't like the triangle key. I don't think I have the triangle key here. No, I don't think I have the triangle key here. Maybe. Let me check one play. Well, anyways, it's a triangle key that our boxes have in the front. Some people like them and some people don't. Up here it is. So this is the triangle key. You guys can see it has a triangle in the bottom.
Gotcha.
And,
I always thought that was a Your Pixelster logo, and I thought that's what you were doing. I thought it was a tree.
It worked. I could have said that.
That's what I always thought it was. I was always like, oh, look, he did a triangle for his tree.
No, you know what I did, Rob. You're absolutely right. That's exactly. It was all planned out. So that's the logo. See, it's right there. It works out perfectly. No, this is literally a standard Chinese vendor key that they put on the boxes, and some people love them and some people hate them. And so one of the things that we decided to do is we're going to be offering our boxes with latch locks, similar to like the Bud box.
Okay.
Where you have the latch. Yeah. So you have two latches on you're going to have two latches to be able to lock it, and you won't have to use these anymore. So we will have both options for the people that want to continue using the triangle key, and the people that want latches, they'll have the option to be able to do that.
I like both options. That's a good idea.
I just love how everybody keeps sharing all your product links on here.
Yeah.
That makes it easy for
And I
everybody.
keep
Well, my
posting them
cart's
up
getting
too. So
full, I'm waiting for this special deal coming. So Mike says, how about the new pixels in a C9 form? Are you looking at doing the new dual wire pixel, the 4-wire pixels? So I'll call it the dual data pixels. So the new dual data pixels. Are you looking to do those in different styles, or are you just trying to stay with 12 millimeter?
We do want to offer C7s and C9s, and even the squared pixels, but when we developed the PCB for this, because the PCB for this one looks similar to the WS2811, but they're different. The tracer lines on them are completely different. We had to develop it to work with the pixels. But then when we develop the C9s and C7s and square pixels, we have to develop a different board because those require a different board. We're trying to keep up with demand with the dual pixel right now. We probably will be releasing the C7, C9s, and the square pixels next year. That as we're looking at the demand and where it's going, the trajectory, we won't be able to offer them until next year.
So I see that Mike says I'll take 10,000. So there's been a pretty big buildup to what it is that you've got going on, and a couple sales that you want to run, and there's actually something for everybody here in the room tonight, and it's going to be for a little bit. I think I'll let you go ahead and tell everybody what I think I counted it two. There's two major discount codes, and one I don't think you need a code. Is that right?
So before you go on with your codes, I'm going to make everybody in suspense because there's one more question just so Jewel doesn't get skipped over. So okay. Jewel's asking, with this 3-foot sphere that you're going to do, is there going to be an X-Lights model? Mynor loves this question. So go ahead, Mynor. I'll let you go with
I missed that.
Models. Yeah, models. So the sphere is going to be available. It's pretty soon. But the problem with that is that, again, because it's a development, it's actually P2.5, so it's not P4. So it's even more dense than the P4s. It's actually like 3 times more dense with the P2.5s. So with that development, we have to see whether X-Light supports it or not. So I have a model coming. It's actually on a boat already. And it would be here in about 3 weeks. I'll probably do a reveal so you guys can see it because I know people have been waiting. And I see somebody saying that, yeah, that could be a problem. I know that P2.5 works with X-Lights. I've been told by the developers that it does, but I do know that they said that there's a limit. So I don't know if the sphere will be able to work directly through X-Lights, or whether we would have to incorporate it through LED vision. And we can sync it that way through with X-Lights. So we're going to be working on that and figuring that out before we say yes, it works.
So Alex said if you send him a free sample, he'll test it out for you and get it to work.
Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I will find your address and make sure I send you one right now.
That was live on everything. You have witnesses, Alex.
Witnesses. No.
It's
gonna be this big, guys. It's gonna be this big. There it is.
Yeah,
I would take a desktop model. That'd be pretty cool. So without further ado, I'll let go back over to Clyde with. There's one more question now. Will you be offering seed and pebble pixels with heavier gauge wire soon?
Yes, we actually we just got them today. We're selling out of all our standard gauge, and the heavier gauge will be available on the website. I'm not going to say tomorrow because we're so busy. Possibly by the end of the week, we will have the near wire gauge up on the website for some of the. I know that we have it in black. And I know that we have it in. Nope, we sold out of the clear ones. So I do know the black ones are still available with the thicker gauge. So if you want the thicker gauge seed pixels, they will be up on the website sometime this week before the end of the week.
Steve comes back with a final question, and I don't know if you want to answer this or not, but it would be interesting. I kind of know, but what did you do before you got into being a vendor in like the pixel world?
Oh my
And
God.
how has your experience been with dealing with China? AKA, do you have any videos or whatever like David Peace and Lee do with shaking hands with Paul and everybody?
So before I came into Pixels, I was a teacher, a PE teacher to be exact. I was a coach and teacher for since I was 18 years old. I started teaching when I was 20, and I'm 38, and I stopped teaching this June. So 18 years of teaching. I started at the middle school level. Then I moved up to the high school level, which I also was the athletic director at the high school level. And I became a professor. I was actually, the last job I had was a professor at a college. I was the athletic director and professor at a college. And this June, I actually stepped away. I think I told Clyde and Rob, yeah. So I'm doing this full time now. I'm grateful that I'm able to do this full time, but I stepped away from my teaching job.
He's very modest about it. He taught it. He taught at Yale, but okay. That's a joke. Everybody's gonna be like, "Holy cow, he was a coach for Yale."
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was a small community college that I worked at. I was the athletic director, and I taught. I'd say PE, but it's actually kinesiology. That's my background, kinesiology. I would have never guessed in 100 years that I'd be talking to you guys and making Christmas lights and making Halloween shows come to life, man. It's a crazy, it's not even a 360. I can't even explain it. It's just crazy. I would have never guessed I'd be doing this in 100 years.
It is weird because I mean, Clyde and I, we get the same questions. Like, we go do something like some of our commercial projects we get. When you're talking to friends and family and that, and they're like, "How do you even get involved in that?" And it's just like, I have no idea. Like, it's a blessing. It's all it is.
Yeah.
We started doing it, and somebody was like, "Hey, I'll pay you to put that on my house," and it's like light bulb.
It honestly,
one thing grows to another, and
yep. I can't even explain how I fell on this, Rob. Just like you said, I've just, I would have never, nobody would ever guessed it. 2 years ago, a year ago, I, yeah, it just, yeah, there's no way I can explain how I got into it. Light bulb or pixel?
Yep. That's what I was just about to say too. But I was like, yeah, which one, 12.5 or 24 volt? So
it started out as a 5 volt, but it grew.
Yeah, it did. It was definitely a start with a 5 volt. Yeah.
So getting back to it, because I kind of cut them off because you had 60 people on here, and I just didn't want those other questions to be lost in it once, because I know these 60 people. Minor's going to give you the deal of the century, and then it's going to go down to like 2, and it's going to be me and Minor sitting here by ourselves. So, just some stipulations. I think Clyde was going over them. Is this just for PPD members? Is this for the general public?
Clyde, what did we decide on that?
So I believe that I believe there were 3 different things that we were going to let them in on. 2 of them are going to require codes, and they're going to be exclusive just for PPD Club members. And I've got that uploaded to the website. I don't know if it went live yet or not. But the other one is rather interesting. Speaking of, I'll go ahead and let you explain it all.
Shut off the live feeds. Is this just?
Well, no. You if you guys want to join us in, we'll go ahead and end the live stream there. We've been going live for about an hour. That's significantly longer than I anticipated. But Rob is good at. Rob is definitely good at drilling down and asking good questions, and there's been a lot of great commentary in the chat to bring it along. So.
Absolutely. And I hope for everyone out there, we're going to continue to do these kind of little series of meet the vendor and that. And I know not everybody. I know the vendors, but Mynor, he does an amazing job when he goes to Expo and these minis and things like that, and Transworld of getting to know and really speaking to everybody. we've got to be close to him several times where I actually hear him explaining like life events in his own show and his haunts and things like that. So it's very interesting. It's awesome when you get to meet somebody in person. But I do know that not everybody has that opportunity to travel to St. Louis or Florida and things like that. So I hope doing these little tidbits really brings you closer to your vendor and you kind of understand, you know, you're not just going on a website and filling out and paying with PayPal or credit card or whatever, you know, this is small businesses for them. I think everybody in this hobby is pretty much a small business for that point. So, I mean, it's just nice to see that, you know, there is a family behind it. This isn't corporate ties and things like that. So I hope really you taking the chance of meeting the vendor and seeing what they're doing at. And I think Mynor may be showing us the haunt or something like that right now. And that is a lot of crates.
Just a sneak peek for you guys. I wanted to turn it around. Hold on a second.
Oh no, we lost him. We lost him. Oh, there he is.
And you guys, yeah, my wife is a saint for letting me have this in my front yard. So that's the haunt all the way down to the front. I don't want to hold you guys up, but this is what I do on my spare time.
That is really cool. So have you always done the haunt, or is this something new?
I've been collecting stuff since I was 18 years old. And then 4 years ago, I said, you know what, I'm gonna do a haunt. I have all this stuff. I should do it. Yeah. So I basically said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, and I finally pulled the trigger 3 years ago. So this is our 4th year running the haunt.
That's awesome. So as we were, and we keep getting sidetracked because it's awesome talking to Mynor. We can sit here and probably talk all night and all tomorrow.
So everybody on YouTube, everybody Facebook.
Emails of why your orders aren't shipping. But so we're gonna end the live feeds. So Facebook, as always, I love you guys.
I actually, we're not gonna
do a whole spill about YouTube. So stand by.
No, don't kill Facebook, because what we need to do, we need to go through and do the guess the sequence drawing, and that's supposed to be live. So let me switch screens here. I need to share my screen also.
Let me unpin Mynor as.
Oh, I'm going to share my screen, and that'll unpin him.
Okay, people, stand by. Handyman says he's got stuff in the cart ready to go. He's ready to deploy coupon code.
So tonight,
if you're in the PPD Club, Clyde did say he already put them live on the website. So you can go sneak over there. Just don't post them here.
No, they can't, because somebody already tried and I deleted it, and I've locked chat so nobody can chat. I know, that's terrible.
So it's contest time.
It is definitely contest time. So
every month we do the guess the sequence. Well, Clyde does the guess the sequence for everyone, and this is for members and non-members and just the general public. You can come in, you can guess. You don't have to be a PPD member, and you get a chance to win really cool stuff. I don't know what the prize is this month, and I don't want to overspeak on that. But the only thing you do is we do a new sequence every month, and at the end of the month, we don't allude the whole month of what the new sequence is going to be, although we've been doing 2. So with one of the new songs, we do a little guess the sequence type thing. Clyde gives out some very good guesses. He usually makes it super easy, so you do get a chance to win in this. Sometimes people still don't get them, but he does try his best so everybody gets to enter. There is no purchase necessary. I'll go through all the stuff. You can have all this. Your person, if you're an employee of PPD, you're not able to enter, blah, 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 blah. Sign on the dotted print. I own your first son. Anyways, so over to Clyde.
All right. So Facebook and YouTube, if you aren't in the Zoom room, go ahead and jump in the Zoom room now. We're going to do the drawing here, and you get a chance to give away 2 gift cards to the Your Pixel store, My Pixel store. And here we are at the end of October, or the beginning of October, and we're going to do 2 $50 gift cards. So there were a lot of great guesses. We had a bonus round of guesses for last month, and so we're going to give away 2 prizes this month at $50 a piece. And the first winner is going to be, and I got to grab my pen and my paper.
Drum roll, please.
And And it's Lori Crawford. Congratulations, Lori.
Lori Crawford.
Now there were a lot of correct guesses this time. So if your name is drawn coincidentally twice, you're not going to win twice. I'm sorry. So only one winner per gift card. So next winner is going to be drum roll for Tom Langley, who's in the room here. Congratulations, Tom. So we'll get together with it'll probably be later. It'll be probably tomorrow morning or so. We'll get those taken care of. But congratulations to Lori and Tom. Everybody that's out there in YouTube and Facebook land, thank you so much for having us. It is wonderful that we get a chance, Robert and I get a chance to see you guys every week. And you're welcome to join us here in the Zoom room every Tuesday night. If you have questions, we know it's Halloween and we know it's Christmas is coming and everybody's getting in setup mode. If you have questions, that's what Tuesday nights are here for, is to help you get to grips or help you answer some of the things or go through some of the things that might be troubling you, trying to get things taken care of whenever you're doing your setup and whenever you're trying to get things to work with X-Lights, trying to get things to work with your controllers. So I see Rob's over there. He's got a little Momo over there. Or no, though, that's Nacho. That's Nacho.
Nacho Momo.
So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Have a great evening. Jump in the Zoom room and join us live here. Facebook, thank you for being here. YouTube, thank you for being here. Guys, have a wonderful evening. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Bye for now.
Facebook, I'm just glad he said